Yeah, so I am a product manager within our homes platform team. So I lead a part of the homes platform team within Airbnb. And what homes platform means is Airbnb is evolving from what was a single product company to like a multi-product company. So it's our job to make it a platform so that we can scale and build new products on top of what we have already. I have met a lot of PMs in my life, and everybody has kind of a different path. So my path is kind of pretty complicated. I started out as a software engineer, working on full stack sort of Java code.
But you mentioned success factors. So very different, right? B2B versus B2C.
Yeah.
So maybe could you say a little bit about product management, the difference between being a product manager in those two different contexts?
Yeah, actually, it's very different in B2B and a consumer-focused product management function. I think I can think about a few differences that are very stark to me when I started working at Airbnb. The first was the use of data. I think in B2B, the use of data is not as pervasive, is not as universal. It's also kind of very different type of data set that we look at. Versus a consumer company like Airbnb is very data-driven, experiment-driven. Any features you see on Airbnb.com has gone through like iterations and experiments before we kind of land on that feature that feature is released. While in the B2B world, we didn't really have an option to run experiments because you cannot really do that with client data. You have to give them notice, so you can't really do a lot of that. Some of that has changed now because I see like what I call a SaaS 2.0 companies with like Slack and Dropbox. They can do some of that, but traditional B2B companies like Salesforce and Oracle and Workday and SuccessFactors, we didn't really have a way to do that.
We like to focus this because of the nature of GLIDR. We like to focus on building better products, and part of that is the process of figuring out the right products to build. So how did you find that the process of doing discovery work and research and and you talked a little bit about experiments, actually differed it at SuccessFactors versus Airbnb?
Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned before, building product, the SuccessFactors is kind of a triangulation effort. It's trying to thread the needle between what we are hearing from thousands of customers, right? And everyone has a specific need, slightly different from everyone else. So if you ask 1,000 customers, they will give you 1,000 distinct requirements. So the arc there was trying to find a common arc across all of these 1,000 customers and trying to figure out what will satisfy 80% of this request, right? And build something that is configurable that satisfies that. Mm-hmm. So we kind of start from there. That kind of gives us an insight into what the need in the market is, and then take that into validation, interviews, and then you get your research team to go and actually ask people, interview them, and then you get into the stage of building beta products and alpha products and testing that and ultimately rolling that out. Airbnb, as I said, many aspects of Airbnb are similar in the sense the host community plays a big part in driving their roadmap. There is a big host community, and their voices are heard, and they play a big part in driving their roadmap. We have a huge research team who is constantly doing research in different areas of focus, and that translates into product needs as well. And then you get into experimentation, and we launch features, and we're constantly A/B testing those features as we go along. So like the idea of the product came from just kind of observing how our customers operate. I find like that's probably one of the best ways to solve problems when you see people and you can see that the process that they're already doing, and you try to figure out how it can improve that process, right?